the Tonight Show late night and sit there and talk. There is a time frame, there's a schedule. And if that's more than you can handle, then you're welcome to have your own show and sit up there and talk to your heart's content. But right now, the way this runs, it's going to run by a format. There's a topic, and you'll stick to the topic. And if you don't want to stick to the topic, go to your channel and do whatever you want to. But you are not entitled to do whatever French toast you want just because it's a talk show. See, that's one of the things. Modern women today are so entitled. They think they can just come in and kick over the table, do what they want, say what they want. And if you actually, just like that woman, you over talking me, sir. You over talking me, sir. I actually had somebody did a breakdown of that video. Did a breakdown of that video and said, talk time. That woman talked 62% of the time. But according to her, I was over talking her. According to all the women, you're over talking her. She spoke 62% of the video. But see, you're used to being able to dominate the conversation, dominate the square, and that shit is over. Men are asking, if you're not going to get married and reproduce and have children and be under the cooperation, collaboration, leadership, and responsibility of a family to make a nuclear family, to build a community, what do you owe the community? Men are told we're expected to come back and tutor and build and such and so forth. What do you owe? And like, think about it this way. How many people know that person who shows up to the party? Show up to the party late. They drank water all day to stretch their stomach so they can eat as much as possible, drink as much as possible, and don't even bring a bag of chips or ice. I knew people like this. You know it too. And nobody likes those people. Nobody likes those people who come, take everything, and give nothing. And then got the nerve to say, this don't taste good, and this ain't right, and this ain't right. Ladies, if the community is a party, what do you owe the community? Or are you showing up to the community just to take from the infrastructure, from the protection, from the church, from the people who came before us? What do men take to? Here's another thing. Let me tell you something. Amara, men, we're not doing that over here. This is not that balance shit. It's always, well, not that tit for tat. Well, men do it too. We don't do that over here. You've had 60 years to talk about what men do. We're talking about what you do. And I think that's your name, Amara Lanega. Yeah, that's not what we do here. Take. When can we just have a conversation and hold women solely accountable for what they do without doing anything else? Like I asked the other day, ladies, I got a question for you. Serious as cancer. Question for you, seriously. Can you explain why you are where you are without blaming the man? To all the single women, explain why you're single without blaming the man. Explain why you are where you are today without blaming a man. Explain why you're doing what you're doing without deflecting to men. Because over here we're doing triage. We don't go to say, well, you know what? You're laying in here with a heart attack and a punctured aorta. But you know what? He's got a he's got an ingrown toenail. Well, we need to get on that ingrown toenail. We need to stabilize you and patch your aorta. We'll get to the ingrown toenail in a minute. But see, that's a deflection tactic. It's always, we're supposed to talk about what you want to talk about, how you want to talk about it, and not get to the women as a problem. If women want to be married, then why 80% of y'all, when a divorce happens, women are leaving 80% of the time? You know what causes divorce? People filing divorce. Like it or not, men don't leave. Let me ask you something. To all you women, how many relationships have you had with men where you have not left? You owe the community something. What is it? And it's not to say what the men do. We're talking about you. I think that's a fair question. I spent 3 years talking to the men. And I never heard the men, when I'm talking to the men, holding the men in test, they never say, well, the women do this too. The men have gotten themselves on a better track. In the last 30 years, black men, 51% are single and childless. 64% in the middle class. Go to blackdemographics.com, black statistics for black people, by black people, and you can see the stats. Black men are doing well. Black men want to marry black women. But where are the black wives? Let me ask a question that a buddy of mine and I were talking about this the other day. I'm going to read it verbatim. What does the stereotypical wife act like? The stereotypical black wife act like? How does the stereotypical wife show her husband love and respect? Describe the stereotypical wife, and you cannot use Claire Huxtable because she wasn't stereotypical. At the end of the day, we keep talking about we want this community, we want this community, we want this community. Then what do you owe the men of the community? What do you owe the children of the community? What do you owe, and do you owe putting yourself second? Got a revolutionary idea. Maybe it ain't about you. Maybe your happiness and joy is for your youth, but then you got to come do your duty. Just like countries who have compulsory military service, maybe, just maybe, you got to do like our grandparents and elders. And they actually built a community and put their selfish wants and needs to the side for the betterment of the group. How many people stayed in marriages for the kids and everything else, but everybody today, especially women today, it's all about you being happy. You ask, why'd you leave a relationship? We grew apart, and then when it starts getting real tight, then here comes the questionable abuse, cheating, that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, dude is whooping ass like hotcakes, but I don't see women's eyes hanging out there. I don't see this level of abuse. Back to whether you like it, ladies, what do you owe your community? Because how are we going to have a community if the majority of the population doesn't owe it anything? If the only people who owe the community are men and married couples, what do single women owe the community? Let's get into it. All right. Now remember, the only thing I require is you got to show yourself on camera, and you cannot. Let's do it.
Oh, damn. Let me sit my phone up. Wait, I'm not going to get cursed out. Hold on.
No, that's okay. Let's get to work.
Oh, my goodness. I'm talking to Mr. Samuels.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. So the question on the table is, what do women owe their community?
I think as a Black woman who grew up not seeing...
Can you do me a favor? Can you turn off the background noise that's coming across? Is it like on TV or something?
Oh.
Guys, I'm gonna shut the comments down so we can have a conversation.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think just as a Black woman who didn't have any like strong examples of positive relationships, marriage is something I never aspired to have. It was like, I'm gonna just be successful, I'm gonna make some money, I'm gonna take care of myself, I'm gonna have my dog and my car. And then I realized when I was like 26, like, damn, I'm gonna die alone. Like, I need to do the work. So I did the work, started going to therapy. I knew I had a lot of unresolved daddy issues. So I was like, look, girl, figure it out, get your credit up, be bomb, but also like do the work. I started dating. I was making sure that I was the best version of myself. Okay. And I want my audience to be the best version of themselves because I don't want them to die alone.
Okay, so how old are you?
I am 31.
31.
But I'm married. I just don't have my ring on.
Okay. So what would you say that women owe the community? I got your story. Shortened version of the story, but what would you tell the typical single modern woman that she owes our community?
I think.
Or do you think single people or individuals don't owe the community anything?
No, I think that's the problem. I think we owe our community everything, and I think we owe our community the accountability. Like, and a lot of my people who I love and care for, I'm like, we got to do the work.
What does that
Like, the
mean?
work, we have to hit the gym. We have to, break the status quo. We have to hold each other accountable. The world isn't going to like work
So
for
you
us.
say we. You mean who are you referring to as
We
we?
as Black women.
Okay. So do you feel like that black women in this case act as though they owe the community anything?
I don't think we do, but I think a lot of us are waking up. And I think a lot of us are realizing that if it's not us, you're definitely adding to it, but a lot of us are not holding ourselves accountable. We think the world is going to happen to us and for us because, we're the cosmopolitan generation. We were sold all this fucking, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
the rainbows, and you can have everything. You can have the career, the husband, the lifestyle. And it's like, no, you can't. And it's okay.
So when you have this, so do you have this conversation with women,
All the time.
and how's it received?
I think a lot of the people on my platform receive it. I get a lot of pushback,
From who?
but I think like being someone that's 31 and married to, I
From,
guess
from
what you would
who?
say,
You get a pushback from who?
my peoples.
I don't know. You say I get it's well received, but then I get pushback. So
So yeah, so it's well received. I want to say it's like a 70-30. So it's like, well, I wasn't born skinny. I wasn't born a 10. So like, why do I have to measure up? Why do I have to be this? And it's like, you don't have to, but you can accept the fact that you are a 6. It's nothing wrong. I watch your content. I love you, by the way.
well,
Nothing wrong with being a 6. But the fact is, we're kind of like raised to think that we deserve. Everybody's not going to have a high value man. Some people don't even like really want to be a high value wife. So why do you want to be
you're
a 10?
married?
I am.
Why do you keep saying she's not married? I don't care about that, folks. Let me go ahead and do this. I don't really care about that stuff you're talking about right now. When you say things to hold women accountable, what percentage of your content are you doing to hold women accountable?
Maybe like 20%. It's something that's new for me.
All right.
Mainly because most of my platform is like women. So,
Okay.
and most,
So here's my question. If most of your platform is women, and women are the most unaccountable, what do you feel is more unaccountable to the community? Is it women? Is it men? Or do you think it's equal?
I want to say woman only because I think just from what I know, a lot of us just try to skate by.
Well, I think it's undoubtedly women because I don't hear women being told they need to graduate, go work, and then come back and save the community. I don't hear that from women. We tell women to go out and live their best